Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. Coyote still not in the Highlands. This is the last video we're probably doing on this trip. I want to talk about Elon Musk and the Twitter deal. Obviously the deal has not gone through yet. You know, the government has to approve it and all this stuff. There's lots of ways it can fall down. There's lots of ways for the shadow government, administrative state, establishment, whoever to make the deal not happen. But it looks good right now. And people are very concerned because Musk talks about things like getting rid of spam bots and authentication. Authentication. Everyone's like, I don't want to give him my ID. I don't want everyone to know my real name. I want my privacy. And I'm like, he says authentication. He doesn't say identification. Now, I'm Generation X, and I grew up with a different computing world where we actually programmed the computers. Like back years and years ago, everyone wrote programs. Like if you owned a computer, you did at least some basic programs. Some basic, low-level programs in the programming language BASIC, right? Everyone programmed a little bit. And there's a way of thinking that you have to learn to do with computers when you're programming. Like the words have meanings. Print and display are different programming commands in different languages. So he says authenticate, not identify. And that's a really critical and crucial little bit of data. So by the time you see this, the world could be completely different and the deal could be over. But the idea of authentication still is valid. And I think that Elon has a really good opportunity here. I could be wrong on what he's thinking, but he's smart, he's Generation X. I think when he says authenticate, he's using a specific word for a specific purpose with a specific meaning, and that the word isn't that he wants a global digital identification system for everyone on the planet. Because you see, Twitter doesn't exist just in the United States and the United Kingdom. It exists around the globe, and not everyone has an identification system the way that the United States or the EU or the UK or whatever does. Not everyone has a driver's license that they can take a picture of to show to the censors on Twitter. That's not what this is about. He wants to authenticate that the people are people and that they're not troll farms or something. And there's ways to do that. It's really not a technically difficult problem. You know what a CAPTCHA is? It's where they show you a picture to verify, to authenticate your humanity, to verify that you're human. To authenticate your humanity, they show you this little grid of pictures and they want you to click on all the boats or all the motorcycles or all the planes. And you do that and it authenticates your humanness. This is what Musk is talking about. It's not hard to automate that process. It's not hard to make it transparent or invisible by looking at behaviors, IP address, account creation dates, your typos. It's really not hard to do. This is not a technically difficult program or problem. It is not a technically difficult problem. So that leads to the idea that you could have anonymous authentication protecting your privacy. And if you think about this from Elon Musk's point of view, because he's got a weird brain, right? What you've got is an answer to government social credit systems. See, governments are all in favor of this digital ID thing where everyone has an ID that is digitally attached to them, and everything they do on the internet and everything they do with money, digital currencies, and everything they do with their body, little chips implanted in you, everything is monitored and goes to eventually a behavioral control system, a social credit system. You already have this with direct fines. Oh, governments love the idea of that. They don't want to have to write you a ticket. They want to just debit your account. Boom, instantly, no court battles. Just boom, they take $200 out of your account because your little digital RFID chip went past the light when it was red. That's what they want. That's totally awesome to a government, right? Think about Musk and the idea of anonymous authentication. I realize that there are a lot of people who have a programmed, built-in distrust of Elon Musk. It is absolutely programmed in there. There's a couple different reasons. There's envy for the money. There's envy for his action. A lot of people get very envious. Our culture programs you to not like people doing things that you're not doing. It's a very weird cultural problem. It has to do with consumerism, and I can connect the dots for that. There's an envy there. There's a lot of program distrust because Musk isn't like us. He is. He's exactly like us. The media and a lot of people tell you that he's not, that this is not something you have access to. You don't have access to do big, great things. You do. You absolutely. We could have a world of Musks, and that's totally fine. Look at the programming. Look deeply at the programming. Anyway, authentication, anonymous authentication, is one of the potential benefits of this Twitter acquisition. It's a huge deal. And I think that people are looking at this a little bit wrong. It's kind of like the Neuralink thing. Fewer than 1 in 10 people who are deeply opposed to Neuralink can explain to me what's going on, what the whole idea is, what the sewing machine is supposed to be doing. Most of them don't even know what the sewing machine is. It's the thing that lays wires that can scan brainwaves to read them so that you can control outside devices. So understand what's going on, and think about this. This isn't, a lot of people are saying, oh, Elon Musk buying Twitter is a way to get everyone onto Neuralink. And people are serious about that. And I'm like, not that many people use Twitter to begin with, That's part of it. But no, this isn't some global domination, evil overlord thing. I think that insofar as we have that with people like Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab, Elon Musk stands in direct opposition to them. He does want to save the planet. He does have things that he thinks will save the planet, but he wants you to be a free agent. He wants you to make the decision whether or not you're going to do this or that thing. And he also believes in the concept of bigger, better, faster, more. You want electric cars and the Boring Company and evacuated tube fast rail tunnels to give people better and more freedom and access rather than restricting. And I think that a lot of people hate Musk because there's a program, and I don't know exactly what the depth of this program is. I talk about programs a lot. Call it a demon if you want, but there's a demon, a program, a thing running around with a lot of people right now where you cannot have bigger, better, faster, more. You cannot have more. You cannot have an increase. Everything must decrease. Everything must fall. Everything must be less. And this is a very weird, sideways misconstrual of simplification into degradation. We must degrade ourselves and live less and be dirty and have Bronze Age farming and all this crap. And a lot of people, especially on the environmentalist and green homesteading side, hate Musk because he wants to lift humanity up in capability, opportunity, and results, and they want everyone down because they think that there's a zero-sum game or a negative-sum game, and that you must degrade all people to a lower level in order to survive, and that is a very fucked up program to run in your head. That's something that you should not mythologize that. You should not give that space in your head or attention in your mind. Damn, that sucks. Anyway, Elon Musk. Authentication is not identification. I just want to really point that out. And I would like to point out that reaction, this desire to not think in positive terms, is something that is probably pushed on you, put into you as a control mechanism. And if you want to be free, you're going to have to get some positivity. Stay sideways.